In the years prior to World War I, the United States was doing okay for itself. The nation was just coming off of the Civil War in which the Union or North was victorious. Technically, it was illegal to own slaves. We were still a long way off from equality in the civil rights movement, but at least we were making progress. These times of peace and prosperity did not last long, though, because World War I was right around the corner. I'm not going to go into specifics about the war, but there are a few important things you should know. Germany, the leader of the Central Powers and enemy to the United States, had over 4 million troops. When the U.S. entered the war, we had less than 1 million troops. Imagine Germany as Coke and the United States as Pepsi. Obviously, we aren't going to be very effective with such a small army. Brigadier General Hugh Johnson came up with a solution to the shortage of troops. Instead of relying solely on volunteers, Johnson suggested a form of military conscription. This was a huge deal in the United States because there had never been anything like this before. The official name for the act was the Selective Service Act of 1917. All men ages 18 through 45 were required to register for military service. All of the eligible men were drafted in a lottery system. 2 drums were loaded to select potential draft picks. The first drum contained every date in the year, and the second drum contained numbers 1 through 100. After a date was picked, all men turning 20 on that day would be drafted in the group matching the second number that was drawn. After receiving a draft notice, usually by mail, recruits had 10 days to report to the regional draft office. Each day had its own draft office. Upon arrival, recruits were given physical, mental, and emotional exams to determine whether or not they were suitable for combat. Once a draftee was deemed fit to serve, they reported to a military training center to complete basic training. Draftees would also be assigned to their division and squad at the training center and meet the men they would be fighting alongside. Because the draft was not put in place until after we had already entered the war, there was no time to waste. Basic training was very condensed and could take less than 2 weeks to complete.
Hello?
Hi, is this Michael Keating?
Yeah.
Hi, this is Sergeant Smith from the Michigan State Drafting Office. I have some news for you, Michael.
Yeah, what's going on, Sergeant Smith?
Congratulations, bud. You've been drafted!
No.
Oh.
I'm here to enlist.
Name, please?
Michael Keating.
Alright. Right this way, please. Alright, rise and shine, scumbag. Time for your morning workouts. Get up!
The physical training that the new soldiers had to go through was very intense. The focus of basic training was less about combat and weaponry and more about exercise and fitness. Some later admitted that the training was the hardest thing that they had ever had done. Because of the severe need for troops, some components of physical fitness were overlooked. Without even passing the physical fitness exam, many soldiers were deployed anyway. The Selective Service Act was important when it was established in 1917, and it is important now. The draft is an important part of United States history. In honor of our ancestors and fellow Americans who participated in the draft, it is a tradition that continues to this day. We as Americans must always stand ready to defend our land, our beliefs, and our freedom.